Don't let those pesky spider webs go to waste. Try this before you knock it down. Place paper behind the spider web and use white spray paint to very lightly spray the spider web. Then use clear spray paint and paint a piece of black cardboard or frame backing. Carefully place the cardboard behind the spider web and press it forward into the spider web. Now let that dry and then place it in a picture frame, and you literally have the spookiest Halloween decor that is so easy to make last minute. What do you think? Are you surprised with how it turned out?
First, I headed to the Dollar Tree and picked up one of these mini wooden crates and this craft wood board along with a mini hay bale. Because the craft board was pretty rough, I used a sanding block and some sandpaper to sand it down and make it as smooth as I possibly could. Next, I added a generous amount of hot glue to the back of the mini crate and glued it to the bottom of the better side of the board, making sure the sides and the bottom were lined up nicely. I primed the front of the board and crate with one coat of white acrylic paint. This step is optional, but I think it gives a better overall result. Once the white paint was dried, I went in with a mixture of orange paints and gave the entire piece 2 coats of paint. When the orange paint was completely dry, I used a sanding block to give it a faux aged look. Next, I headed over to Cricut Design Space and found a fall design that I liked. This particular design needed to be cut onto 3 different colors of vinyl. So I added some removable matte vinyl to a standard grit mat, one at a time, and cut each color out with my Cricut. If you don't have a cutting machine, you could hand draw a design in lettering or create your own stencil. Next, I placed the mini hay bale into the crate, making sure that it was centered, then used some hot glue and raffia to fill in the sides and the back. I stuck toothpicks into the bottom of some faux mini pumpkins I found at the craft store and the Dollar Tree, then added a little bit of hot glue to the bottom and stuck them into the hay bale. I continued adding different sizes and colors of pumpkins and gourds until I was happy with the overall look. Lastly, I added a small raffia bow to the top of the board. Now I have a cute little pumpkin patch of my own to incorporate into my fall decor this year. I displayed it on one of my side tables in my living room, but this is also a piece that could easily be hung on the wall.
The next time you're at the dollar store, pick up 1 or more glass vases with a square or rectangular shape. Take some peel and strip lead lining and peel off one piece. Line up the lead lining on one side edge of a glass vase. Then do the same thing along the bottom of the vase, lining up the edges so they connect in the corner. Continue by applying the lead lining strips to the other side edges of the vase. Apply side pieces beside each other, creating black lead line corners. Once the entire vase is outlined, take pieces of the peel and strip lead lining and create geometric shapes on the flat sides of the vase. Align the edge of the lining with the outline edge and create large and small square and rectangular shapes on the vase. Take your liquid leading and apply a small dot of the liquid onto the connecting points of the peel and stick lining. This will seal the connection between all the lining strips and will create the look of stained glass lead points. Take glass paint in your favorite colors and start to paint inside each geometric shape. I patterned mine after famous paintings by the artist Mondrian with bright primary colors, but you can use any colors that you want. Once the glass paint is fully dry, style your newly painted vase. You will get a wonderful light effect if you place your vase in front of a sunny window.
Are you looking for a little fall inspiration for your front porch, your back porch, or your side porch? So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and pot up the ones that I can. If I had pots for them, then perfect. I went ahead and moved them over with some fresh soil because I want them to grow and to thrive while they are sitting on my front porch. And then it's just a matter of arranging. The largest beautiful mum went in the back, and the smaller plants went in front, with the spillover, that's the petunia, coming in the very front so we could see it cascading down. It really is just a beautiful flower. The next thing that I wanted to do was add a little bit of light, because lights aren't just for Christmas time, you guys. You can have lights all year round on your porch, and it adds just such a warm and homey appearance. And then finally, as a last touch, I had gone by the Dollar Tree and they had these really neat glass jack-o'-lanterns and then this glass pumpkin jar, which was just a different shape. I didn't want all the shapes to be the same. And I just grabbed a few little tea lights and stuck them inside. And most of these wire lights are also on a timer so that you can just set them and forget them. And they'll burn until a certain time and then they'll go off. So that's an easy fall front porch decor.
It's that spooky time of season again, and I want to make the biggest impact on the garage door, but it's really dirty. Just a simple hose down with the hose will do the job. The next step is to run down the Dollar Tree and grab some of those black foam boards. I'm going to start in the upper corners of the garage door. I want to make everything symmetrical, so what I'm going to do is draw some fangs here. This is going to attach to the facial board. Next, I'm going to put these foam boards together, one on top of the other, and I'm going to use a razor knife to cut through. And since I cut all the way through the second, they're very symmetrical, ready to go. Now it's time to hang it up. I can put it on the board trim right on the outside using a stapler. Just a couple of 3/4 inch staples will do the job. Make sure it's nice and secure. Next, these foam boards are 20 inches wide. We can actually cut those in half. So I'm going to mark it and cut it down 10 inches on each side. That gives me more distance for the foam that I got. Starting at one end, I'm going to mark where I left off, and I'm going to put 2 of the boards together, and then I'm going to mark some teeth out. Now, these are going to look like big old shark teeth, but you don't want to make them look all the same. You can make them random, maybe a little squirrely whirly or anything like that, just to make them look different. Once you get it marked out, it's time to cut. Give enough pressure to get through, but not too much. Once you cut through, go ahead and pull it all together and pull it out. Now, we're going to go ahead and go down the foam board. The great thing is, it doesn't take many of these foam boards. At $1.25 each, it doesn't take much, and you're not spending that much on this project. Once I get it all cut out, it's time to hang it up. Starting at the other end, just go ahead and use your stapler and put it in. Make sure it's secure just in case the wind comes up or anything like that. Now, once the top is all the way in, let's start at the bottom. But we're not going to go all the way to the side. And I want to bring the garage door up just a little bit so that I can mark the teeth for the bottom that kind of go up against the gaps in the top. Using some double-sided duct tape, I'm going to put that on the back and secure it to the garage door. Use as much tape as you want, or some clear silicone will do the job. Next step, I'm going to use a whole foam board for the eyes. What I'm going to do is go ahead and mark those out and cut them. Give them like a scary look to them. Now, on these eyes, I'm also going to use some white foam board. It's going to give it like a 3D look. I'm going to mark it out and cut it on the inside, but I'm not going to show you the whole thing right now because I'm going to save this to the end to show you the surprise. But I do need to get it cut out and put together. The next step is I notice these fangs are a little boring, so let's grab some red paint, use some cardboard for the backing, and let's spray it and look like it's got a little bit of blood on the end there. That's going to make it real spooky, and I think it turned out pretty nice. Now I got to put the eyes up. We're going to raise those up a little bit using some clear silicone and put those together. And look at that. Our monster garage is looking great. It can go up and down. You can keep it open or stop it halfway. It's actually going to look really good. I think it turned out great, and I can't wait to show it off to the trick-or-treaters.